So I've driven a lot of cars on this channel. I've driven fast cars, slow cars, great cars. I've driven crap cars and cop cars. I've driven beautiful cars and the Weevil. To date, I've done 191 lap times on this channel. But have I ever tested the perfect car in GTA Online? Well, that's what this video is about, because in this video we will find out if Rockstar have ever made the perfect car for GTA Online. Now, I'm not talking about the fastest or the best handling or even the best looking or the best armoured. I'm looking for the one car in GTA Online that I wouldn't change in any way. So before we start the list, let's start the controversy by telling you a few of the cars that I've excluded and why. So the Issy Classic, that might surprise you, but this is excluded because the rear lights are wrong and the grille is wrong. The weaponised Ignis, that's excluded because the gun just looks too faffy for my taste. The Kuruma is excluded because... so boring. And the Sentinel Classic widebody, that was a strong contender for this list, and if those front lights were round, this would be definitely on the list. And yes, this list really is that picky. The Stinger TT is out because of its awful handling, which means the only top 10 that car could go on would be a top 10 of the worst disappointments. All of my beautiful classics are excluded as well, because as beautiful as they are, I want sports cars and most of these are just too slow. And also, many of my favourites just don't fit the bill. So the Elegy Retro Custom, the Massacro and the Nero won't be on this list either. So let's have a look at the contenders for GTA's only perfect car. And we start at number 10 with the Niobe, which, if you've seen my video on this did the fastest lap ever. I strongly believe that this is the fastest car in the game, even though the Stinger TT beats it on some tests. I think actually in races and in missions and in the game itself, this is the fastest car you can buy. But the problem is, if I were to make a comparison, and I'm going to go for an F1 comparison, to me this car feels like Max Verstappen. I respect it, I respect its ability, but I just can't love it. So moving on to number 9. I've waxed lyrical about this car many times. It is supremely fast and beautiful from every angle, but that handling is almost unforgivable. I compared the previous car in this list, the Niobe, to Max Verstappen. This, I would actually compare to Max Verstappen's early career. Amazingly fast, right up to the point it crashes into everything. Moving on to number 8, and we have the Jubilee. Now this is a funny one because I'm not a massive fan of soft roaders, but with decent looks, good handling, a good turn of speed, reasonable armour and machine guns that actually work, this is a solid choice for any session. I originally had the Paragon R on this list as well, but then as I was writing it I realised the Jubilee does all the same things, arguably slightly better. At 7, we have the Krieger. Now this is probably my favourite hypercar. Now it was a close run thing with the Wagner, but I think, all things considered, this is just a better drive. At 6, we have the Toreador. Now this is the best weaponised vehicle on this list. So this has great missiles, good armour. I absolutely adore that 70s styling. But the main problem with this, and I told you my list was picky, the main problem with the Toreador is it has the turning circle of a moon.
That's no moon, it's a space station.
Which means, as good as it is in PvP, it's just such a pain to live with because it's so clumsy. Moving on to number 5, and we have the Grotti Turismo Maggio. Now this is a really good car. It has a fabulous blend of power and handling, but with gorgeous looks. The problem is, for me, that blend is a little too smooth. If anything, this car's a Diet Coke. It's a decaffeinated coffee, or even worse, it's an alcohol-free beer. Everything is right, but it's just a little bit too soft, which is the exact opposite of the next car on the list, which is, at number 4, the Vorschlaghammer. And if the Imaggio is an alcohol-free beer, then the Vorschlaghammer is an export-strength litre of lager with a schnapps chaser. It's the sort of car that makes you wake up late, with the worst hangover of your life. So bad that you get on the wrong train because everything is still blurred and you can't read the signs properly, and you almost miss your flight home as a result. Now, if that sounds like an oddly specific summary of this car, that's because that is how my last trip to Germany actually ended, and it's exactly as the Vorschlaghammer would have planned it. So now we hit the podium places. We've got the top 3 cars, and are any of them perfect? Well, let's start with number 3, which is the Banshee. This is a GTA staple available in 3 flavours: vanilla, creme brulee, and Carolina Reaper. Now, whilst I'm no fan of the noise it makes, you have to accept that one of the oldest cars in the franchise is still one of the very best. Whether it's for posing or for racing, everyone should have at least one Banshee in their garage. In second place, we have what I consider to be the most useful vehicle in the game, and that's the Virtue. And why the most useful? Well, with lightning acceleration, a reasonable top speed, fabulous looks, and fantastic armour, this makes the Virtue one of the very best free mode cars there is. If you want to ditch the oppressors and ditch the Sparrow and actually enjoy the game using cars, but you don't want to get blown up by Timmy every 20 seconds, this is the car for you. And whilst I do love this thing, unfortunately it does fall short of perfection to me. The fact that the top speed is only reasonable and that the handling is really squirrely means this car is parked at number 2. So, we reached number 1. What is at number 1, and have Rockstar ever made the perfect car? Well, I think they have. So I present to you the Grotti Italy GTO. It is gorgeous, it is fast. It handles well, but it will still punish you if you're not careful. It harnesses all the beauty of the real life car it's based on, and is a car that you just love to drive in the game. Yes, there are faster cars, there are better armoured cars, and there are probably better looking cars, but of every car in this game, this is the one where I can honestly say I would not change a thing. And that makes it my pick for the only perfect car in GTA Online. But what would your pick be? If you like this video, why not subscribe, drop a like, and comment what your pick would be for the most perfect car in the game. Anyway, I hope you found that useful, and I will see you all in the next one.